Welcome to CS22. This is a module on data science. In this module, you will learn about data and different forms at which they can come. You also learn about different techniques that will help you to analyze your data set and also give insight to the stakeholders. Before we move into data science, let's learn what data is. Data is present everywhere and is being collected every day. For example, you make a call every day, you post your picture on Facebook, you also tweet a message on Twitter, and in fact, hospital collects data about patients that come to their clinic every time. With this amount of data, organizations focus more and more in getting insight that will help them to evaluate progress, build solutions, and make an informed decision. When they ask you to define data sets, you may define data in this way. Data is a collection of facts, and these facts may be from number, it may be from words, it may be the measurement that you have taken, or just description of things. Sometimes data may come maybe when you are writing something on papers or information that is stored on your computer. This is a graphical example of what I just talked about. As you can see, these are different ways at which data can come. It can be from information, it can be from numbers, or a fact, or observation, or measurement that you have taken. Data is fundamentally inert, which means that it has no meaning until you analyze it. And that is the main reason why everyone is looking for who can help them analyze their data sets. There are many ways at which you can collect your data. For example, it may be through questionnaire, or by interviewing set of people, or taking some observation, as you can see here. It may also be through research. For example, through research, you may want to get data by that. And in fact, you can also get data by monitoring social media. There are two types of data, and they include qualitative or quantitative. A qualitative data is the one that is being observed and recorded. In this case, it is non-numerical. For example, it is not in form of number. This type of data is collected through method of observation, from survey, opinion of people on a particular topic or discussion. Example of quantitative data include gender. As you know, gender is either male or female. Or the opinion of people, it may be strongly agree, agree, disagree, strongly disagree, or you are neutral. This qualitative data may also be blood type. As you know, we have different forms of blood type. Qualitative data may also be country of origin. I came from Kenya, you may come from Somalia or North Sudan. This qualitative data is also known as categorical data. The reason why it is called qualitative, as I said before, is that it is being observed and recorded. As you know, when you see a man, you will know this is a man. And when you see a woman, you will know this is a woman based on their observation. Another set of data is what we call quantitative data. This is the type of data that is being measured in form of number or count. For example, your age, the number of children that your mommy born, or the number of siblings that you have. Talking about quantitative data, we always have questions such as how many, how often, how much. For example, you may see quantitative data like the amount of money you have right now. This quantitative data is also divided into two. We have a discrete data and we also have continuous data. A discrete data is a type of data that consists of counting numbers. For example, number of students taking this course, the number of days in a year, number of females in South Sudan, or the number of calls you receive on a particular day. As you can see, this kind of discrete data will not have any decimal point. The number of calls you receive in a day may be nothing, it may be 1, it may be 2, it may be 3. And the number of students taking this course may be 30, it may be 60, or it may be 90. As you can see, there is no decimal point like 60.1 or 70.8. That is why it is called discrete data. And when you want to also identify a discrete data, you may ask the following question: can it be counted? If that data can be counted, then it's a discrete data. For example, how many books am I holding? Now, as you can see, 1, 2. Therefore, this example is a discrete data. You may also ask your question, can it be divided into smaller parts? For example, you may want to count the number of calls you receive weekly. The first week may be 5, the second week may be 9, and so on and so forth. Another type of quantitative data is what we call continuous data. This is the type of data that arises as a result of measurement, which means that they come when you measure it. For example, height. To be able to determine your height, you have to measure your height, maybe using tape rule. If you want to measure your weight right now, you have to use scale to measure your weight, to know the amount of weight you are weighing now. For example, me now, I'm weighing 65 kg. Other example of continuous data is temperature. As you know, you have to measure temperature through thermometer before you can determine the amount of temperature in a particular room or the temperature in your body right now. Now let's see the summary of what we just discussed. In this video, we learn about data, and we also know that data can come in different forms. It may be by image, such as the kind of photos you upload on your Facebook. It can also come in form of text, such as what the tweet you are tweeting on Twitter. It may also be through recording. For example, in the hospital, they record the number of clinics, they record the number of patients that come to their clinic, and so on and so forth. And we also see that data can be divided into two. We have quantitative and we also have qualitative. And you can identify quantitative data by its nature, which is it must be numerical, that is, it must be purely number. You may also identify qualitative data through description. For example, is it red? Oh, it's soft, as you can see, through the description of the nature of the data. We also saw that quantitative data can be divided into two. We have discrete data and we also have continuous data. And we can identify a discrete data by counting. If that thing can be counted, then it is a discrete data. For example, we have 20 dogs in our house. There are 512 students taking this course, and so on. Continuous data, which is also part of the quantitative data, is that you need to measure it. For example, your weight, your height, the temperature in a room, and so on and so forth. There are two sources of data. The first one is what is known as primary data. The second one is what is known as secondary data. So let's see the difference between a primary data and a secondary data. A primary data is the data that you collect by yourself. This is the data that has not existed, only that you go there and you start generating it. on your own. That is why they call it first-hand information. And this is data that is being collected by an investigator. The data collected are pure and are in the original form, and you collect it for a specific purpose. As you know, this data has never undergone any data pre-processing. That is, they've never cleaned it. You are the one that freshly collected it, and you may start working on it to achieve your purpose. Example of primary data is population census. For every country, they collect population data every 10 years. Other example of primary data is, let's say you want to collect a data set on why Africa is very poor. In this case, you are asking questions from different households. For example, number of children they have, whether they have education or not, and many other factors that may lead to poverty. Such kind of data is what we call primary data. Remember, you are the one that are asking questions to get those data. Another source of data is what is known as secondary data. A secondary data is also known as second-hand information. This is the data that are acquired from different sources such as magazine, books, document or a report, which means that somebody has already collected the data, store it somewhere, and you also want to carry out a particular research using an existing data set, and that is why it is called secondary data or second-hand data. Now let's see the summary of what you are able to learn in this video. This video talks about data sources. As you know, we have two sources of data. The first one is primary data, which is what is called first-hand information, while the second source of data is known as secondary data, also known as second-hand information. And we can get primary data through census, through questionnaire or interview, while we have so many sources for secondary data. For example, through books, through the internet or on newspapers. Now we have come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching it. See you in the next video. Bye.